G'day, mate. Good. Got the footing laid for the front fence today. Things moving along. The wife's playing her games. What game are you playing? Yahtzee. What have you been up to today, mate? Just housework. Oh, well. Someone's got to do it, I suppose. Doing sport over the park. Won't be on too long because we're going to go and watch a show on telly. No new recliners. It's actually quite a weird night. It's still, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of a battle because it's a reenactment of 1812, the Russians, the French. The French are doing all right at the moment. Baby cat. I think they're suffering from Troy nip, not catnip. Yes, the Battle of Agincourt. Remember it well. It's like, I suppose, you know when you've watched a bad movie, it's pathetically funny. That's the best way I can describe it. No restrictions where I live at all. Zero. No virus. Borders are closed. 4 million people getting on with their lives. Better watch out for viruses on your laptop. Dreaded blue screen. Mother, my screen's gone blue. That's all the porn you're watching, son. The 5G, the harmless 5G. There's very little difference between the frequencies. A lot of people don't really know that. All that nonsense about 5G started from a Russian website. That's strange. No, that's wrong. That's false. Schultz, it's false. Need to examine the scientific data. Between 1G and 5G, they're all frequencies. The only difference with 5G is they have to put more towers up for the simple reason that it is going to be used predominantly for the internet. And it doesn't penetrate. Here's the irony. 4G penetrates everything. 5G doesn't. That's why they've got to put more towers up. Education of what the 5G is. Oh, I see. More towers, more COVID. I think we call you in Australia a numbnut, because if you don't follow the science, you're just following Russian websites. No, well, what you reckon doesn't mean a fact. Remember, I tell you what, I'll give you an example. Remember when microwaves came out? Have you any idea of the protests when the microwave came out? People were running them over with trucks, throwing them back into the store where they bought them. It's going to kill me family. It's deadly. Don't use the microwave, for God's sake. Really? I don't like microwaves myself, actually. I like cooking old school. A bionic shoulder. See, there's so many people that jump on bandwagons like anti-vaxxers, 5G conspiracy theories. We could go on here for hours and hours. It just goes on, and people say, I reckon, I heard, there's a website I can point you to. Really? What about scientific peer-judged papers that tell you otherwise? It's like the latest one I heard was that all the chief medical officers around the world are conspiring. They're lying. Well, at the last count, there was about 65,000 chief medical officers in Western cultures only, and a lot more elsewhere. So if they're all conspiring together at the same time, that's unique. But the big news today, Vladimir Putin has developed the vaccine. Yeah, that's a good theory. Give you food like GMO food, make you sick. Don't cure you, but give you something to take away the pain. That's a brilliant idea. That's been used for decades. You know, there were no food colouring additives or preservatives when I was born. But today, you can get processed crap that has all the colouring, preservatives and additives and weird things in it as well that you can eat by simply putting in a microwave. Isn't that funny? COVID and vaccine are fake. All right, Big Cogs, where do you live? Because I will organise a taxi to pick you up, and I want you to go into the main ward of people dying on ventilators with this fake COVID disease. Hold their hand and explain, it's all nonsense, don't worry about it, you'll be better by morning. 5G gave my dad cancer, bullshit. He does actually, yeah. No, so if you really think it's all fake, head to your nearest hospital, the intensive care unit. Read bedtime stories to those dying on ventilators. Don't wear a mask, because you're obviously anti-mask as well. And just sit there. Well, if we won't find you wearing a mask, we'll find you arrested, which is what happens in Victoria. Well, if it's fake, smells, go to a hospital, hold the hand of a dying patient, explain that they're only dying through some other weird, 5G probably, or maybe they're wearing a mask. Masks are so funny. Have you ever been into a hospital and been in an operating theatre? The surgeons wear two types of masks, and they wear them up for 10 to 12 hours at a time. They don't die from doing that. What are they doing by wearing this very protective gear? First of all, they're protecting themselves, but secondly, they're protecting the patient because he's cutting him open with a big knife. Yeah, conspiracy theorists that talk about probably, could be, I reckon, or I heard, are just numbnuts. Otherwise, you can't be bothered maybe to go to a research station, get some peer-related scientific papers that tell you otherwise. But you can keep on believing and not wearing a mask, and particularly in Victoria, that's going to cost you a lot. No, I don't. That's a rather racist comment, Snell, so I'm going to have to boot you. Sorry. Don't handle racism here at all. Just how it goes. Enjoy your day elsewhere. Simple, just like that. That's life. That's what people see. Yeah, no need for racism at all. I don't mind having a conjecture, conversation, dialogue, even agree to disagree. That's how it goes. But like I say, when somebody brings up a conspiracy theory, it's already lost on me because A, it's a conspiracy, and B, it's just a theory, not a fact. Hello, Phil. Yeah, he wasn't very good. I actually gave him, I didn't even give him a 1 out of 10, Tony. Very average, small, soft approach, inane sort of things like, I'm from Victoria. There's only one Tony Abbott, Phil. There's only one Tony Abbott. Yeah, true, Tony. He'll be back shortly with another name. That's the best troll name I've seen all week. Gay Lab Tangle Man. I actually think that's a well thought out troll name. It's brilliant. I'm going to give you 5 out of 10 for that. Good effort. What a clever name, Gay Lab Tangle Man. Sounds like someone in a B-class fan. Silly statement, Big Cods, silly. I'll give you a cricket bat, Tony, so you can swat the crickets as they come flying past. See, I like a good thought out process, and disagreeing with someone, it has to be 2 points of view. One is their view, their perspective, and their opinion, and then mine. And that's okay. But I don't like people being offensive. I don't like people, people come in the room and will say what these guys said. I reckon, I heard, I found a website, someone told me, and then they'll explain their conspiracy theory. We call them sheep. Just sheep. The fundamental facts is the world is run by evil people, greedy, nasty, who want to control everything, you and me, and have all the wealth. That's about it. That's happened for thousands of years. It's just how it is. Follow the money. See the big sticks that run the world. That's how it is. Can you stop them? No. Good luck. No conspiracy in what I just said. Well, I got 3 pizzas the other day, and what did you reckon about them?
About what?
Pizzas.
Pizza Hut, they were nice.
They were nice, actually, yeah. So no Pizzagate here. Did we get any garlic bread? Oh, no, we got ribs, didn't we?
Yeah,
The ribs were good. Now, Ribsgate. Now we're talking.
You did get garlic bread and cheesy bread.
Well, because if you walk the streets in certain parts of Victoria, in most parts of Victoria, without a mask, you will be fined. 3rd time, you will be arrested. And I'm an ex-prison officer, and I don't think big cods, You do too well. I do like people of their conviction, though. If someone says, I'm not wearing a mask, I have no health issues, I just refuse to wear a mask, that's fine. Unfortunately, it's like doing 190 kilometres on the freeway. You can do it, no problem. However, you will get pulled over, you will lose your licence, you'll get a big fine. So you can do whatever you like in this world, it doesn't matter. But there are consequences. That's it. Nothing more simple than that. Don't like the law? I think you should stand for election. Well, with a name like Galab Tangleman, I imagine you're picking it up. Just saying. You know, I'm that old. When I was a kid, people said, we went out last night, it was wonderful, we had a gay old time. Kid you not, that's what they used to say. That shows how old I am. There's nothing wrong with being gay. If that's what you're perplexed to go down that line and enjoy that sort of thing, that's your cup of tea. And it's perfectly fine by me. Just that you won't be picking up the soap from my shower. Let's just put it that way. So where are we all from? We know that Big Cod says he's in Victoria. I'm not sure if he is. His grammar and spelling's far too good for that, but I could be wrong. Maybe he's a teacher. Toorak, Melbourne. All right. What's the nearest suburb to Toorak? I know Melbourne very well. And I'm telling you, Jack, if you're on the internet and you're from Toorak, you're lying. Do you know what I mean? You're lying, fella. No one from Toorak. Cowra sounds more like it. Sorry, Corowa. Been there. Often get those two mixed up, Cowra and Corowa. Bush baby block stuff. See where Jeanette went for a while? Corowa?
I can't remember.
I think she did. That's certainly a good old country town. Benalla. All right. Oh, well. I think you're on to stage 3, aren't you, out there? We've driven through the bush in Victoria. I can tell you last, when was it? When did we get back here? 2018?
Yeah.
2018 we drove through all the bush parts of Victoria. And I've got to tell you, I've never seen it so dry in my life. It was unbelievably dry. Mansfield, depends which Mansfield you're talking about. Your grandparents are from Benalla, yeah. Good country town. Where do we stay in that caravan? Was it Bendigo?
Can't remember.
Was it drunk?
Yeah.
It was funny.
It's just strange I can't find some of these people's channels.
Good morning. No, they're just troll channels, that's all
Yeah,
they are.
but why can't I find their channels?
Because they're troll channels. There's nothing on them. You generally won't get any listing to look at if you search for a name that doesn't have anything on it.
One of them came up.
Oh, it doesn't matter, yeah. It's like playing with tadpoles.
Couldn't be bothered.
Wollongong, good old gong, the gong. If you're from Wollongong, you should remember this, Phil. Farewell, Artie Jack. We'll know you'll be back. Though you're 10 feet tall, you don't scare us at all. Remember that? I'll rip your bloody arms off. Wasn't a lot of Australian shows made around that time, but there were a few. Division 4. Homicide. Not very creative names, I must admit, but Bellbird. Do you remember Bellbird? If you're from Victoria, you should remember the TV show Bellbird. Bellbird, yeah. That went for years, didn't it? Bellbird. I tell you what, the show Blue Heelers sort of copied Bellbird in many ways. Country town type thing. The Flying Doctors, yeah, it's pretty good. Got a few. Actually, remember that show with, what was his name? John Waters and Sigrid Thornton in All the Rivers Run. Do you remember that show, boys? I watched show on Wildlife Australia. I was impressed with the peacock spider. Oh, we got more than 50 different species. Probably 50 species of that spider. One thing we have a lot in Australia, trust me. Spiders. No, don't like Big Brother. I don't like any, I suppose you call them drama shows like that. They always set out to make someone look silly and put them through shit, so I don't like that. Yeah, Blue Heelers is alright. What was that girl's name? Tasman something. I think she was part Aboriginal, I think, off memory. And John, what was his name? John Wood. I don't play computer games. I've got time. I'm polishing the teak on my yachts. Yeah, I think John must be 74, 75 years of age now. No, I don't play any computer games at all. Never have. Can't be bothered. I work around and do things and stuff like that. Enjoy that. 10 grandkids. I haven't got time to do much else. On occasions, I get on here and talk to the interweb. No one's. It's Sporting Oval about 3/4 of kilometres away. Huge lighting system. I play about 9 or 10 different sports there. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's going pretty good now, Scarlett. He's on a bit of medication for a little problem he's got, but other than that, he's pretty good. We're babysitting the fur babies tomorrow. What time are we getting the puppies?
I don't know, probably about 8:30.
8:30. Yeah, it's like the army, Tony. Takes time, but you get promoted eventually. If I see you donate 99 cents, I'm going to boot your ass from here to fucking Sunshine Creek. Or Porpoise Spit, whichever's closest. A lot of, I tell you what, I glance at a few channels. I don't comment on there, I never will when people have got a dollar sign. But geez, the e-beggars are sort of crying out that no one's giving them any money. It's terrible. I mean, I don't know whether they realise that the world is under a pandemic. No one's got a bloody job, but they're crying poor. Seems strange from someone that doesn't actually work. They're complaining about their work conditions. What if they could go to arbitration, Tony, and ask for a pay rise? Oh, I don't hate them. I just realised a long time ago, Scarlett, they're lonely people, first of all. They seek attention of some sort, good or bad, doesn't matter. But primarily, they also want your money. We need another vid. I don't play the pokies. There's a game on the, what's it called? Lightning something. That's free, doesn't cost you anything. Of course, they try and make you buy tokens and stuff, but we don't do that. So we play around with that every now and then. did one video of the pokies in New South Wales. Oh, must have been a few years ago. Yeah, I think contacting the ombudsman, e-begging ombudsman might be a good idea, or maybe the ACCC. It just flabbergasts me that they don't realise they live a total life of misery. There's one thing that, if I can give you, and what my thoughts have been over the years, is that when they turn on their hangout and then talk, it's because they are very lonely. Some people are scared at night. You know, they'll sit in a van, say, and it'll be 4 a.m. and they're eating, I don't know, 5 boxes of Twinkies, and they want someone to talk to. Primarily, they're lonely. It's more than that, Scarlett. If you follow my drift, they seek attention, and they're always using words like "love me," or "why don't you love me?" Because that's what their life's been like. No one does. So it's a two-edged sword, and it's sad because there is no like all of a sudden a rocketing e-beggar making millions. Never happened. People play with them. They throw peanuts at them and watch them dance. Yeah, and they form, in their mind, a real relationship with people. Only usually under the guise of what can I get out of them. It's like me saying, Scarlett's my surrogate mother. Why would I say that? Well, maybe she'll give me $50. Yes, that's right. Needy people fall for it. But it's not lost on me as well, though, Scarlett, that even though these are lonely, attention-seeking, e-begging people, some of the people that are watching and given a few peanuts are just as lonely. They can assimilate to the situation of being all alone. No, we don't watch Twitch. We've got Netflix. It's got more shows than I'll ever watch. But I don't watch a lot of telly. See, even though it sounds a bit old school, the best way to earn money is to work real hard while you're young. I mean hard. Raise 5 kids, 10 grandkids, and then later on in life, you don't have to beg. You're not a millionaire, but you're comfortable. My granddad said one thing which stick. Definitely not Toorak though. Come on, that's pushing it too far. This advice you should take on board. 10% of the money you earn each week, just put it in a bank account that you don't touch. Don't even have a card attached to it. Just 10%. Let's say you earn $1,000 a week, $100, forget about it. Just keep forgetting about it. That's about $5,000 a year. Forget about it. Put it into one of them fixed, you might get a little bit. Nothing wrong with Toorak, Jack, but seriously, no one from Toorak gets on the internet. They're highfalutin, champagne drinking, shawarma loving, you know, out in the pier. That's Toorak. That's Melbourne's Millionaires Lane. You don't even have to be a very good investment portfolio, Scarlett. Just compound interest does the job. We're in lockdown. Well, in Western Australia, Jack, I'm telling you, we're pretty sort of, even though we've got a big city called Perth, we're all sort of country folk over here. When they said there's nasty things coming, and we're going to lock down, they said about 4 weeks. Well, we all locked down for about 6 weeks. First person to die in Australia was a Chinese Australian man who came back from China, and he died. Then we've had 8 other deaths. And they were quite early on. March, I think, the last death. And they were all off boats that came from overseas. But the rest of us, we don't have it. We don't have the virus floating around. But we've closed our borders, and a lot of different prime ministers and premiers from different states have been saying, open your bloody borders. No, we're right. We have been in a lockdown border-wise for a very long time. It ain't going to open this year. I did hear the Territorian Chief Minister say that he doesn't think he'll open his borders for 18 months. Well, except to Western Australia. We're good to go. But we don't actually let any Territorians into WA, so we're a bit hard, I suppose. But you've got to do the hard yards. If this was me doing a broadcast, I'll give you the best example I can give you. Hello, this is John Smith reporting from ABC News. 5 meteors have hit every continent and scientists believe there's some sort of bacteria on board. Everyone is advised to hunker down in their own homes. Homeland Security in certain parts of the world and our reservists will come and feed you. Just stay at home. This is an alien invasion of bacteria. What would you all do? You'd stay home. You'd treat it seriously. No, I wouldn't be buying any Flight Centre stocks at the moment, Jack. Jeez. Yeah, you might go to the pub, but if the pubs are closed, you're not going to get a drink. You might sit on the edge of the footpath looking up at the door, peering in occasionally because where are they? What's going on? Oh, there's a big sign on the door. Alien invasion, bacteria about to get you. Go home. Yeah, I'm going to give you my advice is that beginning September, there's an almighty crunch coming on all levels, even in our country of Australia. All those holidays from mortgages and non-eviction notices that the government have put in place, they're all going to end. And the money can't keep coming in Australia. The money can't keep coming in the US. So it's going to get pretty rough. Grow a garden would be my advice. You'll learn the word of resilience, resourcefulness, and necessity. And I am not a doom and gloomer. If anyone that would know me would know I don't give predictions of terrible things happening. This is a logical statement I'm giving you. The crunch is coming because the money's running out. All the safety nets are being removed. You're going to have a lot of angry people kicked out of their homes, wondering where the hell to go. What if they'll all end up in Toorak, Jack? Plenty of room there on the beach. Well, you don't have a beach in Toorak, but pretty flash parks. Could be 1 million people living in Toorak Park. But it's coming. Paddy Joe cooking. No, I don't. I watch quite a few cooking shows. I love cooking myself. But I'm not asking or telling people to hoard food or anything like that. Food is not a problem in Australia. 75% of what we produce goes overseas. So food's not an issue. Campbell Park was packed today, nearly 100 plus people. That's a bit stupid. All you need is shelter, food, and something to drink. Australians drown in water, so it probably has to be a couple of beers. But I mean, what happens, Scarlett, in the end is that people, when facing adversity, do one of two things. They steal or they learn how to do stuff. Most people will learn to do stuff. Some lazy buggers will try and steal. The rule of law that we know today may not exist in the future. If you steal someone's cabbages, they might put a shotgun through you. There'll be no police come and say, what happened there? Someone will just say, big hole, plant a lemon tree on top of him. Great fertiliser. I'd never believed it's been the strong that survive. It is the wise, it's the smart, it's the patient. It's the ones that don't panic. I mean, can you imagine, this is just an analogy, imagine, Jake, if the internet went off in Victoria. Now, no internet. Can't go out. Can only watch the ABC maybe. Channel 7, 9 and 10 if you're lucky. But no internet. You look at your mobile phone and think, bloody thing, it's not working. Then you'd be doing it tough. There was no internet in 1917. What have we got? Oh, we've got the Spanish flu. Oh, pass me your mobile phone. No, we haven't got one, mate. That's another 200 years away.
Copy there.
Thank you. You ever thought about making a garden trove? Just grow the foods you like eating. Potatoes. Everyone loves potatoes. Oh, you were saying you never owned a cell phone. My first cell phone, when I was a surveyor, used to have my pants down near the back of my knees by the end of the day because it weighed about 2 bricks. And it lasted about 20 minutes. It's funny when you think about it. I was reading an article by a comedian. He was talking about the people that think 5G is going to get us anti-vax. He did the whole list. And he said, I'm sitting there, and he was saying he was one of them. Really worried about this 5G as he's heating up his microwave pie, using his mobile phone device to his ear, standing in a hallway where there's an electrical impulse going all the way through. But he's worried about 5G. Jeffrey Epstein had a cell phone. I believe so. He doesn't have one. Not where he is at the moment. He's still alive for sure. Righto. Which island is he on? Fantasy? The plane, look. Well, whichever island he's on, good luck to him. But I don't think he'll be doing very much as a pile of dust. This they cremated the wrong body. He's in Toorak. Well, he'd have the money to live in Toorak, Caleb, let's be honest. Oh, God. That's an assumption based on absolutely no fact. Scarlett. See you, Tony. Have a good one, mate. I don't even know why you'd say something like that, Scarlett. Pure speculation. Why would he be in witness protection when he is the criminal? He's the centre. What's he going to protect himself from? No, I don't. I just think it's silly. It's like saying Elvis is alive. Maybe Elvis is with Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe they're singing in the back room of the cell. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. For those people that were conspiracy theorists in the 80s and 90s, I have to tell you, Adolf Hitler is dead. I know some of you won't like that news. Made a deal. Well, that's not speculation. You're presenting a fact, Scarlett. Made a deal to turn in bigger players. There are no bigger players. The royals have always been sexually deviants. Nothing new about that. Gentlemen of the court, Scarlett is presenting her speculation. Judge Seeds presiding. George Powell. I'm not sure if you got the right Powell, but If you're talking about the former Secretary of State, is that who you're talking about? That's Colin Powell. Don't know who the hell George Powell is. Asking me what my thoughts on George Powell is just as same as asking me, what about John Smith? I don't know. I accept your guilt, Knight Rider. You will be released into the wild of the Northern Territory of Australia. Don't worry about the water buffalo, the snakes, the spiders, and definitely don't lie next to a creek bed because the crocodiles are going to get you. So I just head up an ironbark tree and live your rest of your lives out there. Seems fair. Wonder what life's in California like tonight, Ryder. Daytime over there, isn't it? Yeah. It's the least I could do, Knight Rider. It's a funny thing about punishment for crimes. Some countries still have the death penalty. They have a weird law in the Northern Territory of Australia which has been in place since 1879. And it is even today. If you steal a man's horse, you will be hung. They haven't stopped that, have they?
No.
You get charged with that, but they don't carry out the sentence because you're not allowed to be executed in Australia. 5:24 and dark. Just ask Kit to stick the high beam on. You'll be fine. Like I say, some of the crimes people committed and the time they got, I could never work out. But, someone who steals my television, Knight Rider's car, smashes it up, steals a bit of money, he gets 5 years in Australia. Someone that does sexual assault might get 18 months. I don't know how you settle with that in your mind, but it doesn't seem right to me. Very strange. This law. Once, a gentleman in court in London once said, the law is an arse. I was Knight Rider and Scarlet. You must have heard this the last couple of days. There's some YouTube channels that review songs from past years, and they were listening to a Phil Collins song. Now it's number 3 on the Billboard. Quite staggering. It's first sung by Phil Collins in 1991. And 29 years later, it's back to number 3. When Knight Rider says he just got baptised, probably his wife was trying to drown him in the swimming pool. Yes.
Or one of his girlfriends.
It is odd, Scarlet, but Phil Collins, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Reviewed by a couple of African American men, apparently popular on YouTube, and they just thought it was brilliant. So people started buying the song on iTunes, I think, or whatever it was. Great performer, Phil Collins, and when asked, I think the turn of the century, why are you stopping touring? He said, quote, I'm old and I'm tired. That's it. He was always straight up Phil Collins. I'm old and I'm tired. I suppose there's lots of songs that kids of today would listen to. Probably get the same response, I suppose. Sounds like a great plan. Night Rider. Make sure you take Vegemite, bread, butter. Make sure you take that. Probably a few bananas wouldn't hurt either. Oh yes, yes, Scarlett, no doubt you have nana naps, just like I do. Doesn't stop me working, by the way. But I go, I'm tired. Lie down for half an hour. Half an hour is all I need. I'm good to go. Just half an hour, done. Very kind of you, Night Rider. You don't have... Oh, you'd know, Scarlett. If you had Marmite, you'd know. It's not Vegemite. Pretty sure you can get Vegemite in the US. You're probably going to get it off Amazon. Do you know what I mean, Scarlett? They sell everything.
It's not the same.
Well, yeah, the English eat Marmite, but the English that we've given Vegemite to now eat Vegemite. But talking about old English stuff, we've got some crumpets. We're going to go and watch a Doc Martin show shortly. Might have a couple of crumpets each.
No, I don't want nothing to eat.
All right, I'll have yours. I'll be back in stock. If they run out, there'll be a reason, Scarlett. Yep, got to have lots of butter. No point having a crumpet without lots of butter. And I like mine going twice in the toaster so it gets a bit crunchy, not burnt. But you know what I mean? You hit it on the plate and it makes it like a brick sound. That's when it's at its best. Scones. Clotted cream and Devonshire cream. Yes, clotted cream's very good. I made a bit of beef stew the other day. It was delicious. Tiny bit left in the fridge. Barbecue ribs. If I do ribs, it takes probably 2 hours. I like mine to fall off the bone. I always put a bed of onions, sliced up onions, under anything like that. You can make onion gravy at the end, but it just keeps the meat off direct contact with the pan. And I'll cook like on 170 degrees Celsius. Well, I have no idea what that is. 300, I'm guessing, Fahrenheit. Fairly low. Yeah, barbecue sauce is easy to make. I tell you good, for those people that are not very good at braising, I've always said, depends how much meat you got, but if you've just got a bunch of ribs, say, I would put in half a cup of ketchup, half a cup of barbecue sauce, mix it together. Bed of onions, and then you can use that to braise the ribs. You know, take them out, give them a bit of a coating again with it. It's delicious. Very simple. Ketchup, half a cup. Barbecue sauce, half a cup. Job done. All right, we're going to turtle off because you're going to watch a show, aren't we?
Yep.
So thank you all for coming, even the trolls. We had fun, and we shall see all of you. What do you do? I do ketchup, mustard, vinegar, brown sugar, onion. Yeah, pretty similar. You start mixing brown sugar and vinegar and sugar, you sort of get into the barbecue sauce stage anyway. Have a good night or day, wherever you are, and we will see you all again sometime.